The messages on this tape have been duplicated from original master tapes. Keep in mind that the electronic paranormal voice does not sound like the human voice. It is at times harsh, may be a monotone, and frequently speaks in an unusual rhythm. Each message will be duplicated 3 times in order to give the listener a better idea of what is being said. Sarah Estep, recording. I start to record one morning, and someone says my name clearly. Here's Sally. Someone says one morning, in a monotone voice with rhythm, "This is very different." You will hear me ask, "Who is here?" In a loud voice sounding nearby, someone replies, "This is Herbie."
Please tell me who is here.
That evening, I turned the microphone over to Herbie in case there was anything he wanted to say. We can't be sure whether it is Herbie answering in this next message, but someone replied in a voice which sounded nearby, "I am frightened." One morning when I ask if I have friends with me, someone replies in a fast voice, "You have some other vacuum with you." In the third recording, which took place an hour later, the morning of May 22nd, I asked if they create a vacuum in their world, much like we do on the earth plane. A loud voice of unusual quality replies, "That's right." Spoke to me the morning of May 22nd, evidently used a vacuum in order to speak, because when I asked during the third recording if they had to create a vacuum in order to speak, someone replied in a singing mode, "Yes, we do that." Those on the other side have indicated at times that they use the energies which the experimenter throws off. This also includes ectoplasm. In this segment, you will hear me ask if ectoplasm is a form of electrical energy. Someone answers, "Expansion, probably."
You have indicated in the past that you do use the ectoplasm at times, which the experimenter gives off to help with your voice manifestations. Please tell me if ectoplasm is a form of electrical energy. Thank you.
are interesting, as well as puzzling. I have signed off one evening, and an unusual monotone voice, almost singing in strong rhythm, seems to suggest there is something wrong with the equipment on the other side by saying, "This drum, it seems to fail."
Drum,
24 hours later, you will hear me referring back to the message I had picked up the day before, when they said, "This drum, it seems to fail." I ask about it, and a voice of unusual quality tells me, "It's improved again."
I received this drum, it seems to fail. Did this message come from you? Thank you.
Those on the other side seem to use a line in order to come through to us. In this recording, a fast female voice says, "Keep the line in sight." The entities who speak to us from the next dimension use not only the experimenter's energies and their own equipment, but they also seem to look for a psychological and philosophical kinship with those of us sitting at our tape recorder. You will hear me ask Staihi, who is my head monitor and helps me with recordings, if it is necessary to have monitors on the other side to help us record voices. The interesting answer which comes back shows clearly that the spirit world has a definite plan in trying to teach us on the earth plane about their world. As Staihi replies, "You're getting the idea, instructing and instructing." This is followed 4 counters later with the additional words, "I need abilities to relate."
Staihi, please tell me about monitors. Is it necessary for those of us who are trying to communicate with you in the spirit world, is it necessary for us to have monitors to help us? Thank you.
You will hear me ask who is here. A male voice tells me, "Here's Gladys."
Please tell me who is here.
In the next recording, I called on Gladys, and a voice says, "Hello, hello, hello." This is followed by a musical chord which originated from a radio broadcast, and then in strong rhythm, the message is concluded with, "I missed you." 2 weeks after hearing from Herbie, I ask if he is with me. He replies, "I am." During this same recording, I ask if something has happened to Herbie. A soft voice replies, "There's this. This man is sick." During this same recording, and a minute later, you will hear me refer to a flash of something white which passed between the tape recorder and me. Someone replies in a partly monotone voice. Some sort of visual can come to you.
I think I just saw a flash of light, very brief flash of light, right in front of my tape recorder. I wonder if this indicates your presence.
A few days later, I had a roll call recording. During this type of recording, I call on a number of individuals, known and unknown, who have spoken to me from the spirit world. I ask if my brother is here, and immediately a loud voice sounding extremely nearby mentions the high wall window in my office. He says, "Face window."
Is my brother here?
Next line down. Next line down.
Is my brother here?
Next line down.
One morning, after I make a comment to my friends on the other side, someone tells me, "That's very plain." During this same recording, I am talking about Christmas, which was 10 days earlier, and someone says in a loud, clear voice, "Enter."
And it's Christmas. And next Christmas. And
You will hear me signing off one evening. A voice using radio music as a background sound to help with their voice manifestation says, "Enough is enough."
I hope that you will be here when I return tomorrow morning and be able to speak to me at that time. So until then, thank you again for being here, and good night.
During the first recording one morning, someone said, "I want Sally." In the second recording, I asked who had said this. There are unusual background audio sounds, and then someone replies in a partly singing mode, "I love her."